Frankie was the lead singer of one of the biggest groups ever to come out of Chicago. That group is called the Buckinghams. They had some amazing hits, and you know all the hits. Kind of a Drag, Susan, Mercy, Mercy, Don't You Care, on and on and on. And I am so pleased, I'm so excited to have him as our guest tonight. Dennis Tufano, hello there. Welcome to Jam and Java. Well, tell us about the Chicago scene in the 60s, because you were in the midst of all that. What a cool music scene.
It was great. It was so inspiring that, John Polis, the drummer who started the Buckinghams, him and I used to play out in the suburbs of Chicago. You know, we'd play in our little band, and we would go down to Rush Street, and we would listen to all the great bands that were playing down in Rush Street. And there was all kinds of great people there. It was like The Exceptions, which was a great band, and out of that band came Marty Greb, our keyboard player, and also Peter Cetera played bass in that band. And so we used to see these guys, and then Terry Cat was in a group called the Missing Links, and some of the horn players, Walter Perez was also in that group, and Danny Seraphin was in that group, and they all started to circulate and become these other big bands. So we heard some of the best music in the world.
Tell me about Kind of a Drag.
We were doing a Dick Clark tour, touring on the tour. We were the local bands in Chicago at the Chicago Stadium. And we would play in the afternoon, and then the big acts would play at night. And we played in the afternoon, and the guy who managed was Carl Bonfetti at the time. He knew Jim Hovey, who was a writer. So we went up to him, and Jim was in actually it was mostly the Mob, his band was called, but he was also the Dick Clark house band.
They were a rocking group back in those days in Chicago.
They were an unbelievable R&B group. Yeah, they were the first horn band I ever heard. So Jim said, yeah, I have a couple of songs that I wrote that probably won't be suitable for our group. He said, but why don't I record them for you? So we put them on a little 2-inch tape. There was an acoustic guitar up in the hotel room in Chicago. And then we got the tape and we listened to it, and it was Kind of a Drag. So we started working on it, and we were very excited because we had an original song, and we were doing covers most of the time. So it turned out to be, a really good record, and we went to Chess Records to record it. But the sound was so unusual, and there was something special and magical. And Ron Malo was the engineer, and he made everything happen. Took those 8 tracks and filled them the best he could. And when you listen to that record real close, you can hear every single note of every instrument. I don't know how he did that on 8 tracks.
Wasn't there an interesting story when the record was released? You guys got released, right?
Yeah. Well, the record company wasn't really crazy about the record. They were trying to pull all of our upbeat songs off of the tracks that we had recorded. And we kept saying, we play this song live and the audience stops dancing and they stand in front of the stage and watch us. There's something going on here. And they said, it's too slow, it's this and that. And so they wouldn't release the song until finally the contract was up and they had to release the song. So they did with no fanfare, and they released us from the contract. And then the song just went out there all by itself. Now, I say all by itself because the record company didn't have any promotion for it.
Right.
But the radio stations in Chicago, Dick Biondi on WLS and all those Art Roberts and all the other guys, they played our regional records, So as soon as Kind of a Drag hit them, they just went nuts on it. And that's what really took off. So that was November of 66. And by February of 67, it was number 1 with a bullet. So there we were, no manager, no record label, no keyboard player, and number 1 record. And we were kind of depressed, and we're sitting in Nick Fortune's basement, the bass player, and John Polis came in with Billboard magazine. And he goes, hey, you want to see something really weird? And we went, what is it? And he threw Billboard Hot 100 in front of us, and we were number 1 with a bullet. And it just blew our minds. We were so frozen for a second, thinking we have nothing to follow this up with. We don't have a full band or management or a record label. What are we going to do?